Okay, good afternoon. Hello everyone, good morning. Good morning. My name's Shane, and with a big thanks to St Hilda's School, we'd like to welcome you to the Couch Out Loud. Now, to guide you through today's conversation with our remarkable panel of guests, please welcome the Couch Out Loud's very own, astute and accomplished host, Monique Kinnison.
You guys were already dancing already, so it was just so easy to get going. Thank you so much. Thanks to St Hilda's here as well for the Couch Outloud. Thank you, DJ Shane. Hello, students, staff and visitors to St Hilda's School. So, what is the Couch Out Loud? Well, let me give you a 20-second insight.
And your time starts now.
Okay, the Couch Out Loud is a live talk show that's not streamed, and it's not on YouTube, it's not on podcast, and it's not on television. We are all about bringing real people together from the community who have a real life, with real life discussions in front of real live people, with our real life social connectivity. It's such a unique concept these days, isn't it? Okay, boom. Wow, did it? Okay. So, where does social media fit into all of this? Well, it's a relatively new platform in our society, which means there's limited conclusions on its effect, not only in our human psyche, but also on the impact of involving, our interactions with others. Our guests have their own perspectives on this and what their impacts are on social media in their lives, and we'd really like them to share that with you. They'll also share with you their experiences in life, their life path, the obstacles that made them stumble. Yes, they have stumbled, but they've just made it part of their life's dance. And they've kept on dancing. So let me introduce our guest speakers to you right now. Firstly, we have a young lady who's created a supportive online community. She's the founder of Gold Coast Girls in Business. Can you please give a huge round of applause for Asha Peck? Thanks, Asha. Not only does our next guest speaker seek happiness for herself, but she spreads this to others by empowering self-respect and self-love. Can you give it up for Laura Weaver? Okay, our final guest left her corporate career to connect the community and change lives through dance. She's the co-founder of Casada School of Afro-Latin Dance. Raise the roof for Jo Suter! Okay, welcome to the Couch Out Loud, our real live guests. Thank you so much for coming, and we'd love to hear more about the threads of your life that weave and create your own very personal story. But let's get to know a little bit more about you, because we'd love to share it with our community here. We want to know about your background, your family, your visions, anything else you'd like to share with us. You will need to release it here today. So let's get started with our segment. This is called Share Your Story in 60 Seconds or Less. We like music. Okay, Ash, you're first up. Could you please share your story in 60 seconds or less, but wait for it.
Hi guys, my name's Asha Peck. I'm the founder of the Girls in Business movement. I am 28 years old, a wife and a mother of two, born and raised on the Gold Coast. When I left school at the age of 17, I believe, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be successful, but in what aspect, no idea. So I went and I jumped around from career to career, from beauty to hairdressing to marketing, and then I started my own social media business after my second child. And I was looking for a little bit of support and advice to grow my business, which is where my idea from the Girls in Business movement came from. So I built that to create a safe and supportive environment for women starting out in business or who already have a business that just needed a little bit of support and guidance.
Thank you, Asha, that's great. Okay, Laura, I hope, thank you. Laura, I hope you had a bit of time to think about your story to share with us in 60 seconds or less.
Okay, guys, I'm Laura. I am 34. I was actually born in Canada and I grew up in Brisbane. So, similar to Asha, I finished grade 12 and I didn't really know what I was doing, really. Everyone was pushing me to uni, so I went to uni and I actually dropped out after the first 6 months because I hated my life. I was in a business degree, I hated it, I was doing economics, and it was just horrid. Sorry, that's probably not what everyone wants to hear. That's my personal experience. But there is a good story. I went back to university when I was 30. So I travelled, I worked, and then I went back and studied photojournalism when I was 30, and got into social media and marketing, and started my own business with Reloved Rebellion, which is all about women and self-confidence and loving your body and just being a rad woman.
Fantastic. Give her a round of applause, folks. Okay, Joe, are you ready to share your story with us in 60 seconds or less?
Hi guys, I'm Jo. Thanks so much for having us here. Like Asha, like Asha, I was born and bred on the Gold Coast, born and raised. My mother's from the Philippines, my father's European, I've been here my whole life. Educated here, went to university. By the time I was in Year 12, same as you guys, I thought I had a very clear vision of where my life was going, and I chose to study law and business. And I loved the uni life, only because I'd have like one lecture a day, do 2 tutorials a day, 2 hours at uni, get to go surfing, shopping, hang out with my friends. I didn't take it all that seriously. But I did well, surprisingly enough, and I kind of fell into a legal role, and I practiced law for about 4 years, and I hated every second of it with a passion. And I always thought I had these really big goals of being a humanitarian rights lawyer, working for the United Nations, and that kind of thing. But when I got into law, I just realised it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. So I did lots of different things. Like both Laura and Asha, I was a coffee barista, so a few days a week I was working as a lawyer, and then I'd be downstairs in the coffee shop of the corporate centre serving my clients lattes, asking if they wanted sugar in their latte. And so that was really different, but that was really cool because I got to talk to people all day long, away from the really demoralising work of law. Like, sorry if you're wanting to be a lawyer. No, I'm sure you'll like it. I was a little bit different. But yeah, did lots of different things. I was in retail, I did heaps of different things, and I found my way back to a grown-up job working for the government, for the Department of Immigration. Got myself realigned with my goals that I do save the world and do counter-terrorism and intelligence, which I thought was really cool for a while, but again, not cracked up. Not what I thought it would be, and I found myself coming back to the Gold Coast, leaving Canberra, and starting a dance studio. A little bit different.
Fantastic. All right, give her a round of applause. So what I'm hearing is you don't have to have it all worked out in the beginning. You can try lots of different things. We've got plenty of time, which is good. Our guests are quite versed in having a good conversation in person, and you would have been listening to the tone in their spoken word, as well as watching and noticing their body language, their facial expressions, and that kind of gives you an overall evaluation of emotion and feelings and what they're saying. But how different it would be if we just looked at the written word, and you're probably familiar with that, or even just an emoji. Emojis are being used more often in social media to punctuate emotion, so let's find out how you and our guests interpret emojis in the written word. We're going to play a game called Emoji, Tell Me How It Be. Woo! Yeah. It's not grammatically correct, but it rhymes, and that's really what counts. This is where our audience petition audience, you can be involved, that's what I'm trying to say. We're going to choose 2 audience members and contestants to be paired up with Asha and Laura to have a little bit of a conversation, but just by the written word almost. These contestants will hold up and read out a card that has the written word with a message on it to show to their paired guests. The paired guests will then respond with an emoji. No hints from our guests, okay? No hinting anything. We don't want to see anything about it. We just want to see the sign. Sign language and facial expressions are out. So we're going to be paired with that. It's exciting, I know, we're really pumped. raise your hands if you would like to be part of this. Oh,
Yeah.
Come on up. Come on up. That's good. Yes, up the back. Come on, I can see you half raising your hand. That means you're in. Okay. Come on over here. Okay. All right, so what's your name? Hi, Kylie, this is yours. And you're paired with Laura. And what was your name? Sorry? Eve, you are paired with Asha, okay? So it's pretty straightforward. We'll get you to turn around so we can everyone can see you. That's right. So they want to know who you are. All right, so you've got your written word there. So it is time to play Emoji. Tell me how it be. Now listen, contestant number 1 is Eve. You're with Asha last night. You're out for some end of school celebrations and you're texting her about last night. Now can you hold up your card and read it with no expression?
Hi Asha, it was impossible to get a conversation going last night. Everyone was talking too much.
Okay, and Asha's response is, ooh, what does it mean? What do you think that means? Okay, right. Yeah, you're right. It could be taken many different ways, couldn't it? It actually does mean my lips are sealed, I'm not going to tell anyone about it, but it could have been taken negatively too, couldn't it? So we're not really sure because there's no expression. You read yours with a little bit of expression, didn't you? Yeah, you did. You just can't help it. You're too expressive. I know. Well, give her a round of applause because we're going to do our next one. All right, now we've got... Kylie! Oh my gosh. All right, Kylie, we'd like you to read yours out to Laura if you can with no expression, okay?
Hey Laura, how are you?
That was awesome. Just do it again so we got it.
Hey Laura, how are you going?
And here's her response.
Oh,
and what's your response? From
great to hear.
You guys seem to know what it means. What does it mean? Right. You guys are on top of it because
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. When we did that with adults, they all went, oh, happy face, great. That's fantastic. So you guys are on top of this. Big round of applause for our contestants here. That was our fun game. Emoji, tell me how it feels. All right, so as you can see, it's pretty straightforward that our social interactions are what's really important. From that, you can kind of glean that we have a small peek into the interactions between online, and it can very much complicate our personal interactions. That's a really small example when you think about how much we're doing online. Social media has certainly removed areas of communication barriers, but has this come at a cost to our human interaction, and that replacing that then with our virtual interaction. It can also leave lives open globally to unwanted judgment and criticism. Asha, your business introduction into using social media was for the purpose of gaining support and help for a graphic design business, but that then led you into a completely different direction and the purpose of using social media. So you also experienced some setbacks with online harassment. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so there's obviously really good and really bad parts of social media. One of the bad parts is that the higher that you climb on the social ladder, I suppose you could call it, the more of a target you are to other people. Not so much other women, it's men and women in general, but I was unfortunately targeted when my business started to grow, and it went on for about 11 months, and unfortunately the police can't do much about it, and there are some rules that are changing and laws that will be coming into place, but there is some setbacks and it is hard to go through, but you just need to find support to get through it.
Fantastic. And I guess through that process, I mean, how did you learn to deal with that adversity?
So again, on the flip side, I went straight back to social media to help me get through it. So a big part of my business, I have free support groups throughout Australia. So on the Gold Coast, there's nearly 15,000 women involved in the group. So I went straight back in there and asked them for help and support and advice to get myself through it, because it was a little bit of a dark time, and there are parts of you that don't want to express it and let people know, but inside you know you have to let it out and let people know, but you have to be careful who you choose to let.
That's true, and sometimes it's the law of the large numbers, isn't it? We can focus too easily on those small numbers because they still have an impact, but when you reached out to that 15,000 strong community, what happened?
It was insane. It was amazing. So I had phone calls, messages, PMs, DMs, emails. I mean, every sort of contact I could have, I had coming at me. But it was so positive and so powerful and so supportive that I just completely forgot about it and kept growing my business.
That's fantastic. So that's what motivated you then to keep going with Gold Coast Girls in Business and keep it going strong?
It actually pushed me into a whole new direction of bringing light to the social media bullying and harassment that can take place, and just letting girls know that there are ways to get through it and ways around it, and also just to be more mindful of how you do speak to others online, because sometimes you're not even aware of how you're coming across to that person. So
that's great. And it kind of reminds us of a saying that we at the Couch Outloud really support, which is be the woman who fixes another woman's crown without telling the world it was crooked. It's one of those important themes that, you know, we're really supporting each other. I think that's what your business is all about, which is fantastic.
100%.
Asha spoke about the support from the online group of networking people, but it not only changed her direction, but also helped others as well. Jo, your life journey has also changed direction. What inspired you to make this decision to pursue a totally different life?
As I said earlier, I probably made it quite clear I didn't really enjoy my legal career. So while I was doing all the corporate stuff, I was, as I said, working for the government, and I came home and I was working in my family's business in recruitment, thinking that might change things. But at the end of the day, I was doing something day in, day out that didn't align with what I wanted to do, with my values, with my goals. Working for the government, for example, was really quite demoralising. You don't tend to have a brain of your own. You just serve the government of the day and you have instructions. That's what you do. Same with law. You're given instructions. You work within a very strict set of boundaries. That's what you do, despite your own values and despite your own morals. So I found that really hard. I guess as well, I'm just not one of those people who's made for 9 to 5, sitting at a desk. I find that really, really hard. I can't sit still for more than 5 minutes. So doing the corporate gig, I found really hard, really, really challenging. So just day by day, I guess it was eating me inside really slowly, but I didn't really know it until I actually had quite a significant nervous breakdown. And so I had, since then, I've sort of had depression, I have depression, anxiety, as a result of, I guess, doing something that I just never really wanted to do. So doing something like dance, I've danced since I was 5 years old. Doing something like dance has always been, since I was young, always a very shy child, been very therapeutic. So you are out of your head, in your body, and dancing and expressing yourself, hopefully with no judgment. But I was able to do that and really connect with myself and do something I wanted to do, and I love teaching others to dance, especially people in our vulnerable people in our community. So yeah, it was quite it was unfortunately, I mean, we can try all different things throughout our life, which is a wonderful thing, but you know, I would hate it. Unfortunately, got to a point where I had quite a significant event in my life, ending up in hospital, to change my career direction. So hence now we have the dance studio, and it's probably the best thing we've ever done.
And so knowing the importance of the human interaction, because you kind of mentioned that as well, did you feel conflicted then about using social media to encourage others to encourage others?
Very much so, and I still do. I'm very conflicted about social media. I dislike it and I like it at the same time. So I'm quite I'm quite a private person. So I only started a Facebook account very recently in the last 12 months, and same with Instagram. So only just for the purpose of advertising our business. And just the reality is that we get a lot of business through social media channels. And not only that, I have a lot of family in the Philippines that, you know, it's convenient to stay connected via Facebook and see what they're up to. And I guess, I find it very conflicting, because we're trying to use social media to convey really positive messages, but there's still so much rubbish that we see and so much noise. So I guess for me, it's about setting boundaries, when to use social media, how to use it, and how to protect myself from all the negative things that we see.
Excellent, excellent. Taking the time to focus on your priorities is a big part of that. Without the distraction of the digital world, though, it can be quite a challenge. Virtual validation for whatever we post is becoming a bit of an addiction. Laura, can you talk to us about that need for virtual validation outweighing the importance in showing our true, authentic selves?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially with Instagram, when you're putting up posts, if you're not getting likes and comments and follows, if you're following more people than are following you, how does that make you look? So there's definitely an online presence that's telling you not to be authentic and be yourselves. It's telling you to be cool and hip and filter like everybody else and fit in to that crowd. So in that aspect, I think social media can be limiting.
How do you approach it though? Because I know you've talked before about what you kind of post. Can you tell us more the kind of posts that you put up?
Yeah, I'm a little bit different. I post photos without filters of wrinkles, pimples, and I highlight them and I circle them and I'm like, this is what a real face looks like. Definitely cellulite. I do photo shoots for women and I feel like women are told how they're supposed to look and they're supposed to be perfect and it's not real. Your body will change, you will age, you will get older and it's not the end of the world. You don't have to have Botox and plastic surgery to be loved and be wicked. Like you can just be yourself. So I try and put good photos up of women, real women, looking hot and gorgeous as they are without being filtered and fake.
Fantastic. Well, social media it's a great way to reach out to people who have the same interests as you, and it can be a positive platform to connect and collaborate. But on a personal level, however, how deep and real are these connections? Because Facebook recently has been promoting that they want their users to come back, they want them to share with their friends, their family, their photos, their stories. But Laura, do you think that social media platforms are recognising the fact now that their users are fighting that kind of inner struggle with that personal disconnection? How are they combating that?
Yeah, I think they're trying to combat it. I'm not sure that they're succeeding. They're definitely looking at ways to expand your newsfeed and what's coming in, so what you see on a daily basis. But that's only based on your likes and people in your circle and similar things that you're used to seeing. So it really limits your world on social media, which can be just a tiny portion of, it could be negative, can be positive, but it definitely limits what you're seeing based on what they think you are and what they think you like. And I think that is wrong.
Because I think as human beings we're so complex. We might like this one thing at this time, but we're missing out on other interactions with other things if we don't have that choice to see it, if we're constantly being diluted into one particular area.
Yeah, the algorithm steps in and sort of takes over, and I feel like that's taking away the personal element of social media.
It's deciding what we look at. Okay.
Yeah.
One way to keep ourselves in check is to make sure that we rise above it, that we kind of get off that social media merry-go-round. We jump back off it and we get into the real world with real people. But balancing everything in your life and having experiences that give you that emotional boost of happiness, well, that's what we're kind of about today. So I think that a good boost of happiness is audience participation. So let's do it with a game called Mood Booster. Okay, we just need one lovely audience member for this. Who's up for it? There we go. Come on. Well done. Is it Gabby or Abby? Gabby, welcome. Okay, so you've got some special pictures there. Could you just show them up to everyone? We've got some melodies. What's the next one? Something adventurous. Going to the beach. And posting something on social media to boost it. So, Jo, I hope you're up for this. In this game, we're going to give Jo a selection of that. She's got exactly the same cards as you, and she's going to put them in order of importance to her. And you've already heard a little bit about what Jo's saying, so I hope you were listening carefully, because I'd like you to try and guess what order she would put them in. What we want to do now is look at it from the opposite direction. So I want you to put them 1, 2, 3, 4, the first, second, third, and fourth. And then we're going to read them backwards though. We're going to start with the fourth and see if we move up to the first. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Most important is number 1, but we're going to start with number 4 when we read them out. How does that sound? Okay, let's have a little bit of mood boosting music. Just while they decide what they're going to do. What do you think? Want some help? You're all good? What do you think? Do you need help? What do you think? All good? Oh, she doesn't need your help, people. She got this. She's got it. Okay, so let's get some insight into this. It's time to play Mood Boosters. We've only got, sorry, I skipped around there, Shane. We're going to do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? We're going to have that special reveal music in a minute. We're going to step away. So now we'll see if these match. We're going to start with number 4, okay? So the thing that you think she's least interested in doing. Are you ready? For the reveal music, can we reveal number 4? Is it matching? Reveal music. Show us. Oh! It's like they're twins. It's like they're twins. I can't wait for it. All right. Can we get it all four in a row? Let's do it. Number 2. Reveal music. Oh. We were so close. I'm sorry. Why is that your number 2? That's me, my melodies. What are you doing? What are you doing? Fine. Whatever.
That should be number 1.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you. All right, number 1. Okay, that was so close. High five to you, sister. You know what you're doing. Thank you. All right. The Mood Boosters game shows us that we all have differing priorities, choices that can keep us balanced and our life in check. But the distractions and trends of modern necessities of the digital world connect us, cannot necessarily define who we are. We're so much more than that. Social media is a practical way, and we've heard about how it can be good. It's to find and interact with new people with the same interests as you, which is great. But I suppose what we need to consider is, does this come at a cost of actual personal face-to-face interaction? Laura, you have helped women step out of their comfort zone and into their true, real selves. Can you just tell us more about that?
Yeah, so guys, what I do is I do photo shoots for women, teens, mums, anyone who wants to see themselves differently. I think we kind of have a picture of ourselves and we kind of don't want to go out of bounds, or we're scared of what people will think about us if we dress differently, or dye our hair pink, or get tattoos, or piercings, or whatever it is. And a lot of people live their lives scared and not really themselves because they're worried about what other people will think. So when you come for a shoot with me, we go crazy. We put rollerblades on and tutus and we're dancing out in the street. We're doing shoots outside at the beach. We're doing photo shoots at photo studios in Burleigh. It's a really supportive and spontaneous sort of experience that a lot of women don't let themselves have. What you would experience in an art class or a dance class, for instance, if you're not involved in the art aspects of life, you'll miss out on those sorts of feelings. So with me, we dress you up crazy as long as you're comfortable with it, and we just empower you, build self-confidence, and just get you out of your comfort zone doing some really fun stuff.
That's great. I love it. Love it. I'm sure that everyone has experienced, though, that disconnection in conversations when devices are involved. So, you know, you might have a group of people around and everybody's catching up with each other in theory, but they choose to catch up on virtual connection instead. So, Joe, what are your feelings then on social media's impact and the type of fractured social interaction that we currently have?
That's a really good question. I have really strong feelings on the subject. There's nothing worse than catching up with your friends you haven't seen for ages. You're really excited to see them, and you're all sitting there catching up for coffee, but everybody's on their phones. So they're more interested in, you know, what's happening on Instagram, how many likes they've got. We don't communicate anymore. We're communicating we're sending messages to each other. Right beside me where Laura is, and we're sending messages to each other. Like, that's really not normal, right? So have you heard that? Have you seen that quote? I've seen it somewhere on social media saying, in a world of algorithms and hashtags, never forget the importance of human connection. Have you guys seen that? Yeah? Yeah, so I really resonate with that. So it's really, I think, we've implemented in our dance studio a no device zone. So when you're in the class doing the class, so you can bring your bags in, but you're not allowed to check your phones, unless it's super urgent, of course, but no checking Instagram, no Facebook. You're there to just connect, be yourself, away from social media. That world is not 100% real. So I have very strong feelings on the matter. I think your parents would absolutely love it if you actually had a conversation with them without your phone, checking the phone, and that kind of thing. It's really, really important that as we progress with this age of social media, that you still don't forget the fundamentals of communication with each other. When you go to a job interview, you're going to communicate with your potential employer, right? You can't be there on the phone using it as a comfort blanket. It's really important that we start to put the phones away just a little bit more. Even if you're out with your friends, make a rule, 20 minutes, no phones, or no checking your phones over a 10-minute period. Start small. Yeah?
It's interesting because I've kind of grown up in a time where social media's come on board later. And Asha, do you think then that we just have to accept the fact that the digital world's here to stay? I have a 3-year-old and he knows how to use, social media. Well, not social media, he knows how to use, swipe screens. When you go to a play centre, they have a swipe screen there as one of the play centre orientations. So it's kind of a part of our world. But do you think, are you confident we're going to be able to keep that humanity and relationships in check?
Yes, I think we just need to start making more of a change, because the kids these days are growing up as it's part of their life, and it's going to be. And as you said, your son, my son's nearly 8, but when he was 3, he taught me how to use my iPad.
Right.
And that scared me to death. That scared me to death. And he's now 8, but I think around 4, he wanted to start his own YouTube channel. He was going to make millions of dollars being a toy opener. Yes. And yeah, well, he started prep, and in prep they have iPads for the kids. So that's how much it is part of their life now. So it is going to be around forever. It's definitely only going to grow, if anything. So we just need to learn to grow with it, and how to use it, when to use it, and the right way to use it.
So I just wanted to share a story with you. Abby is someone who's very much involved in the Couch Outloud, and at our last show, she was talking about that she's only 20, and so she's grown up with social media, and she had an opportunity to go on a digital detox weekend, and it was just 3 days. They went out and camping and stayed in cabins, chatted, all that kind of thing, bonfires, all the usual things that you would see in any kind of camping movie. And when she came back, she was really conflicted. Like, I don't mean just like, oh, that was interesting, super conflicted internally, because she felt she'd made a deeper connection with the people that she talked to on that camp, who she just met, than she did with some of her school friends, some of her other friends that she'd known. I mean, of course there are deep connections, but she really felt like she was seeing the avatar of her people in her life. And I'd forgotten that I'm from a generation where I had it before that. And so my friends, when I've grown up and social media's hit us, I already knew all my friends and my family and everyone before that. So when they show us their avatars, I know what's real, I know what's not. I know when someone's putting up something that's real, I know when they're putting it up to show good faith because they're not having a good time, and I can reach out to them. But I'm wondering now, from her experience, if that's something that you guys might be experiencing, that you know people on a different kind of level. And there's so many great things about that, because we do get to know a lot of amazing things, we do get to spread our connections. But I wonder if it's coming at a cost, and how we can combat that. And I think it's a bit of like what we've talked about today. It's a bit of understanding that there's digital detox times, and it's all about that balance. And whilst some people here, like Joe, when you're talking about the corporate world wasn't for you, I've had a friend who parents were very much into dance, so everything's dance, dance, dance. So she grew up going, oh my God, I'm going to have to be a dancer. Didn't really love it, like everybody else, but she went through all the training. Now she loves the corporate world. She's in there in the government thinking it's fantastic. So it is about finding your real self and doing that, and there's lots of communities to do that. One good thing about social media is that you can find so many different people all over the world now that have that, you know, if you get little subcultures, things that you're really into, you can find those people, which is really amazing. Okay, so now we're back to you, Joe. I just wanted to talk to you about the Posada dance, because you've been encouraging people to connect and interact, but what benefits do you feel dance in particular can have for us personally and as a community?
The benefits are tenfold, so I'm speaking from experience. I said earlier that dancing allows us to get out of our head and into our body. It allows us to connect with other people we wouldn't normally connect with. So in our dance studio, just an example, we have children's classes and adult classes. So our youngest student is 8 years old, our eldest student is 72 years old, and her favourite class is our booty class. How cool is that? So, you'll be connecting with people you wouldn't normally. So dance has no language, so we can all connect without judgment, without fear. And it's really again, I talk a lot from a mental health perspective, it is incredibly therapeutic.
Well, Joe, I think it's clear that all of us here like dance. I know a lot of you like dance because I saw you dancing and bopping along way before we got on stage.
Especially the front row.
I know.
You girls definitely love to dance.
Yeah, you girls were here early just rocking it. So I'm pretty sure we need to maybe feel those benefits too. Could you help us out with that, Joe? Okay. All right, she's going to help us out with a feel-good routine. Guests, come on over this side. Joe, are you ready to put this together with DJ Shane?
I am.
Okay, she's getting really serious about it now. She's taking her shoes off. I love how I just saw everyone just went, oh yeah, standing up. They didn't even have to think about it. This is fantastic. All right, are you ready to hit it? Yeah. You can go wherever you want, where's comfortable, and we'll dance behind you. Are you managed to? Is she allowed to dance on here, on the top? Okay. say thank you to all the St Hildas and the staff. We've got a bit of extra time, so we thought we would put it out to you guys. We've only got 10 minutes, but we wanted to ask you guys to see if you've got any questions for us. We might just get Michelle or someone to take a microphone down to ask if anyone's got anything. Thanks. And it can be for anyone, like just any questions you've got in general about these lovely ladies on the couch and some of the achievements they've had, or any comments you want to make. We'd really love to hear from you. And if you haven't got questions, I'm pretty sure some of these girls have got questions for you, so... All right, well, nothing from you girls? You're just exhausted from exams, you're just like, oh, I just want to release. All right, well, you've got a question for them, have you? Yeah, go for it.
I just want to ask about Snapchat, okay? Because we haven't really touched on Snapchat. Who uses Snapchat every day? Okay, do you use it for more than 5 hours a day? Is it every morning when you wake up? Every night before you go to bed? And is Instagram still cool, or is it only Snapchat? Insta's still cool. What about Facebook? No.
Oh my god, I'm so embarrassante. I love Facebook.
Facebook for business is where it's at. And Instagram and Snapchat are more your friends and
Do you guys feel like you're seeing your friends in their real states? Like you feel like it's real? Okay.
On Snapchat it's real? Yeah, but Insta's not?
Yeah.
Like you have your real Instagram account and then you have your Finsta account. And your real Instagram account is like where you look really nice. And then your Finsta account, that's always on private. God forbid if it's not on private. That's where you post like the less nice photos. You know, the crying photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone just, I know you had something to say. Would you like to share? No, you who just turned around. Yeah, that was you. Yeah, you had something you were saying. I'd love to hear what you were saying just before.
I kind of forgot.
We're just talking about what's cool, what's not.
Snapchat's real.
Oh yes, I feel like Snapchat's more real because that's like your angles and like that's when you get the double chin pics and send it to friends. Like there's no real glamorizing or anything. Whereas I feel, whereas Instagram it's like you take time to pick the right photo to upload.
Right.
So like it's not in the moment. It's like a process.
And so that's
But
why
it's still cool.
So you feel like you're getting your real people through Snapchat then? That's one way. Okay, good. What else have you got to ask, ladies? Have you got anything for us, for our ladies, or anything? Yes?
Hello, by the way, thank you guys for coming. We really enjoyed the session. So I'm a bit unsure of where I want to be in the next 5 or 10 years, but one thing I do know is that I really need to approach like mentors, and so how do I go about asking people, for direction and guidance?
join my group.
Okay. Sign me up.
Seriously, it's completely free to join. My next question was going to be how many of you would think to use Facebook for personal development and business development? Would anyone have thought to do that? Yeah? So my group is all about, so it's called Gold Coast Girls in Business. The aim of it is to have, we've got a wide range. So we've got ladies who own multi-million-dollar corporations, to girls who have just opened their home business, to women who are in school, even teenagers who don't know and are just looking for inspiration. But inside that group are thousands of mentors, and some are worldwide and known, some are new and upcoming. But if you go in there and just tell the girls what you're looking for, where you're at in life right now, and you'll find so many girls probably exactly the same position as you are right now that will want to connect with you and help you out.
Thank you so much.
And remember, even just people that you meet, if you meet someone or see someone, you can approach them as well. Like just say, talk about your interests, the same as what Asha just said. Not everyone will always have time to do that because mentorship is something that does take time, but whatever they can give you is always helpful. Okay.
I just have a little bit on that as well. A lot of people that I've connected with through Instagram in particular, I've actually DM'd. So I follow their account and I have a look at what they're about, what I can see from their page, and just DM them. Say, hey, I'm new, I'm starting out, I'm a photographer, so I'm looking for a space. And the amount of work and connections that I get through people on Instagram, DMing them and just taking the initiative is huge. You need to get seen because there's so many people out there now taking photos and doing that, but if you are passionate about it and you have the initiative, you can go after and get whatever you want.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah. Question for everyone, is there anyone who feels like they don't know what to do after high school?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
A lot of you got some good plans then. There was someone in the middle there who had a question. Yeah.
Joe, this one's directed at you. I was just wondering where your dance studio is. Woo! And like pricing and things like that.
Well, your first class is free. Yeah, we have, we're at Burleigh Heads, just down in between, do you know where James Street is? The main, yeah, just before James Street on West Burleigh Road on the same road as Stocklands.
Is it called a specific something? Like, is it, like, do you have a title for it? Like studio. Is it just called
Oh,
dance?
Pasada School of Afro-Latin Dance.
Oh, can you spell
Yeah,
it?
Pasada, Pasada. It means to step in Portuguese.
And if you check out the Couch Out Loud Facebook and any website, you'll be able to find all the details of every single one, every person who came today. And she's got cards. Yay.
I actually did a dance class with Jo, and it was so hard. She can move in ways that you can't even imagine. And it's just epic, so if you get a chance, definitely go and have a dance class.
And also today, after this session today, we're going to be here for a little bit, so you'll be able to mingle with us and have a chat to us as well.
I want a selfie with all of you.
We're going to do an Ellen selfie. I think we should definitely do that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, are we going for time? 4 minutes. T-minus 4 minutes.
Initiative, I like
Yeah,
that.
Gabby.
Sorry. Okay. All right. So, okay, guys. Well, we'd like to have a bit more time mingling with you, so you can really ask individual questions in case you're a bit nervous with the microphone. So, firstly, we'd just like to thank the staff at St Hilda's School who made this all feel so welcome today. Thank you so much. What a great facility. We've got all these great things here, a lovely hall. Can you please give our DJ resident here, DJ Shane? And the Gold Coast has got so much to offer you in the way of community engagement, arts, culture and lifestyle. It's time to unplug and enjoy real life experiences with real people. You'll be able to do that with us afterwards. Make sure you continue the progressive conversations to enhance social connectivity and build healthier conversations and communities. The Couch Out Loud. It's not just a talk show, it's a movement. Thank you very much, ladies.